Bob. Hello, I'm Bob, and this is my motorized bike E2. I actually had a script written for this, but I think I'm just going to post the script and do this more off the cuff. This is based on a bicycle we've owned for about the last 12 years, and I think it's a good candidate for motorization because it's pretty rugged, and because it actually has pretty good brakes, even though they're rim brakes, they're good brakes. And the Bike E2 is known for its durability. When I was thinking of the powertrain combinations, you know, I went through the whole gamut, but I finally decided that I wanted a tiny four-stroke gas engine, and coupled with an automatic transmission with deep gear reduction. I chose gas over electric because I wanted the range and wanted to avoid the expense and problems of batteries. I would have liked to have had the lower noise level, but I'm going to try and take some of that out. It's already fairly quiet for what it is. Wanted an automatic transmission so my wife and I could ride, and she wouldn't have to shift and I wouldn't have to shift. And also because in a lot of states, if you have a manual transmission on a motorized bike, it's no longer a motorized bike. And I wanted the deep gear reduction because I wanted to be able to take two of us up and down hills. I chose the Honda GX35. It's small, but it's big enough, and it's a four-cycle engine, so it's cleaner and greener and more fuel efficient. It's rated for about 1.3 horsepower at 7,000 RPMs, but it has good and increasing torque from about 4,000 RPMs, and by the time the clutch is fully engaged, it's at about its peak torque. It gets its peak power between about 7,000 and 8,000 RPM. Also, it has forced air cooling, so if you climb up long hills at low speeds on hot days, it won't overheat. As far as the transmission, I'll come over here so maybe you can take a little bit better look at it. I chose the NuVinci 171 CVT hub and the electronic transmission control, which is partially over here and partially inside this homemade control box here. It's a complicated system, but it's really the only one that gave me what I want, which is deep gear reduction and automatic transmission. And finally, for the gearbox, I chose the Staten 18.75. They call it a tri-hybrid gearbox because Staten has a good reputation, and also because I'm using the intermediate gear shaft as a PTO for my charging system. As far as performance, it'll go 21, 22 miles an hour. It can coast faster, and I can freewheel either the powertrain or the pedals, so I can use them independently. And since the clutch engages at about 4,000 RPMs, and it has near its max torque pretty soon after the clutch engages, I can have near my peak torque at a little bit over 3 miles an hour. To give you a feel for the deep gear reduction, as I said, the engine maxes out at about 8,000 RPM. This is 18.75 to 1. Inside I have a 13 tooth sprocket going to a 27 tooth sprocket, and in low gear the hub actually has another 2 to 1 gear reduction. So that's why I can have nearly full torque at a little bit over 3 miles an hour. As far as the detail on NuVinci, I could go into a lot of it, but I think I'll post my little script here. One thing I do want to make note of is the charging system. To have the NuVinci developer's kit shift properly under full power, shift up, you need to have lots of good strong 12-volt power to it, and the only way to really get that is with a true charging system. So I had to build one. So this is an alternator here with a belt to my intermediate hub, And inside here I have really what's a solar 12-volt controller, and then also, since you have to rectify the alternator, I have a little Radio Shack $3 bridge circuit, which seems to work fine. Excuse me, I'm a novice videographer here. As far as you know, other accessories, I've got pretty much what you'd expect. This is a mini tack, a light. This is a stop and go switch. Or I'm sorry, this is a stop switch. And this is a shift table controller. I have two shift tables that I have inserted. I have a power shift table and an economy shift table. I'm usually in the economy shift table, but I can go from one to another. I do need to stop and turn off my shifter to do it, but if we're camping and we need the power, I can go to my power shift table, and it gives me more power to go up the hills. Doesn't change the gear ratios, but it holds the transmission in gear longer. This is obviously my throttle. I'd say what I like about it, I like its hill climbing ability. I like the fact that it's comfortable. I like the fact that it rides low and therefore it feels safe. I like the fact that both in my power gear and in the basic bicycle, I've got a lot of quality components, and it's kind of a head turner wherever we go. And the St. Louis police have seen it many times and they've ignored me, so I like that. The dislikes are the fact that it rides rough with one aboard. That's because to give me a firm enough engine mount, I've got a lot of unsprung weight. All this stuff is unsprung back here, so you can really feel it. I have a 21-ounce fuel tank, so that gives me 15 to 20 miles between refuels. I'd like to have a bigger fuel tank. I'd like to muffle it more for the rear rider, and I'm going to get a flat sooner or later. So when I get my rear flat, it's going to be a major job repairing it. I've got to take all this stuff off the back to repair it. That's about it. I'm going to make another little film of it hanging off and operating, and then a third one with both of us on it. So stand by for those.